In 1980, I was reassigned from the Pentagon under a Special Career Monitoring Program to RAF Bentwaters as a Deputy Base Commander. RAF Bentwaters at the time was the largest tactical fighter wing in the free world. It was comprised of 2 geographically separated bases in England and 4 forward operating bases in Germany. In late December 1980, I was called upon to investigate a very strange event that was distracting our security police from their primary job of defending the base, guarding the airplanes and the weapons. On December 26th, early in the morning, December 26th, our patrolmen noticed some strange lights off the back gate of RAF Woodbridge. At first, they thought an airplane had crashed. So they called backup force up, they called their control centers and said, we see strange red, green, and blue white lights in the forest. It looks like a downed aircraft. The control centers called the tower air traffic controllers, they called Heathrow, they called Eastern Radar, who provided air defense for our sector, and the same thing came back from all centers. Nothing flying, nothing in the air, nothing down. Well, they're really puzzled. So 4 or 5 of them assembled, and they sent 3 of them off base to investigate the lights. Jim Peniston, John Burroughs, and Airman Cabanasac. What happened next is almost unbelievable. They actually approached a craft sitting on 3 legs, about 9 feet on a side, shiny black like onyx with strange writing on it. We lost contact with them for 45 minutes to an hour, and there was great panic and ready to send a rescue team out to find out what had happened. To this day, we don't really know what happened. Cabanasac says he saw Burroughs beamed up into this thing. Peniston said something funny happened to him. They've undergone regression hypnosis on at least 1, if not more, occasions, and whatever happened to them is significantly blocked. They keep saying, the light, we can't get past the light. 2 nights later, we were having the officers' annual Christmas end-of-the-year party. It was a family affair. We just finished dinner when the on-duty flight lieutenant, top cop on duty, came in white as a sheet. And he wasn't an excitable person. He'd been in the Marine Corps, he'd been around, he was pretty mature for a lieutenant. He said, I've got to talk to you and the base commander immediately. So we went into the cloakroom. It was the only private place in the little building. And he said, it's back. We said, what's back? He said, the UFO is back. Well, they took me to the site where this alleged craft had landed. There were 3 indentations, equal distance apart. And I have a plaster cast that Jim Peniston made of one of those indentations. It used to be pretty close to perfectly round, but traveling around the world with it and taking it to different places, it's gotten damaged a little bit. And on the back of it, it says number 2, because Jim made casts of all 3 of the indentations. He took 2, and I kept 1. His have since disappeared mysteriously. I've kept mine pretty safe, I think, through the years. We were going around the site looking, checking, had the Geiger counter out, the APN-27, and we found the radiation readings in the center of the triangle formed by the 3 indentations was much higher than around the perimeter, and it was pretty hot. I say hot, about 10 times normal background radiation in each one of the indentations. I had them check the trees. The side of the pine trees toward the site was much higher. I got much better reading than the far side, so there wasn't something natural in the forest there that was causing that high reading. There were rub marks and marks on the pine trees, and when we looked overhead, we could see through the canopy of the trees that there was a clearing right through, straight up, and there were broken branches on the ground. While we're milling around and I'm talking on the tape recorder, making notes, one of the parties says, look over there, there's a light. It's moving. It's bright red. We look out, and in the forest, there's this bright red glowing light object. It was elliptical, but so maybe, I'm guessing 15 to 18 inches, maybe a little bigger. I can't tell for sure. It had a black center, and it sort of winked like an eye. It moved horizontally through the trees, avoiding the trees, bobbing up and down vertically as it went to avoid branches. It came toward us at one point, and it receded and went out into the farmer's field, which was beyond the edge of the forest.